Looking for photography tips, inspiration, ideas, or anything about film? Well, you've come to the right place. Born in Film and Photo Nation present Film Factor Podcast. Follow us on our social platforms at Born in Film on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Almost 1 million people have now died of COVID-19 worldwide.
The Philippines reporting the first coronavirus death outside of China.
Amazing number of Filipinos work in our NHS. These are the immigrants currently saving people's lives.
Yes.
Coming here and actually enriching our country and doing an amazing job. So thank you to all the Filipinos who are here doing all this amazing work.
They want you to know that you, all of you, are their heroes. Huwag po kayo susuko, bayani po kayong lahat. And remember, there is only one thing we say to the God of death. Not today.
I wish I could swim like dolphins can swim, though nothing will keep us together. We can beat them forever and ever. How we can be heroes just for one day. How we can be heroes just for one day. I will be king, and you will be queen. though nothing will drive us away. How we can be heroes just for one day. How we can be us just for one day. Standing by the wall, and the guns shout above our heads, and we kiss as though nothing could fall. And the shame was on the other side. Oh, we can beat them forever and ever, and we can be heroes just for one day.
Our proud generation of visual storytellers, young and old alike, across all gender, beyond ethnicity, thriving in an online community. Built in the Philippines for the world. From the streets of Intramuros to the ringing bells of Chalon-sur-Saône, atop the great mountains of the Himalayas to the deeps of the Great Barrier Reef. Across Asia, Europe, Oceania, Africa, and the Americas. We will tell stories. We are Photo Nation, and the passion will live on.
Photo Nation. 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 And Photo Nation.
To your regularly scheduled program. When your camera is made by Kodak, you know it's good.
Tonight, I'd like to show you one of the world's great cameras.
Tonight, I'd like to show you a new idea in picture taking.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
I see the picture in my mind's eye, and I give it to you as the equivalent of what I saw and felt.
We choose to go to the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
If you we'll never forget that we are analog human beings.
My job is to be authentic.
We all love stories. We're born for them.
Coming to you live from Stratobox Studios in Manila, Philippines.
Good evening. Hey guys, welcome back to Film Factor Podcast. My name is Francis. Tonight, we're back with Born in Film on Air Season 3. A show where we talk to photographers and their passion for photography. Again, we are live simulcast on Facebook Live, IGTV, and YouTube. So for friends who are here, happy Saturday. If you haven't yet, please invite your friends over by sharing this live video. The hotline is now up. The hotline is now up. Don't forget to ring us on Viber at 63921-408-8898. Again, that's 63921-408-8898. Or just simply scan this QR code. Again, we will be accepting questions and greetings later. Or if you see the comment section, just write your questions down to our guests. Again, we would like to thank each of you for being a huge part of this passionate community. Let's check the current standing. Currently, Photo Nation now has... Wait lang, mali. Currently, Photo Nation now has 12,400 members across 101 countries. Again, if you haven't yet, please do invite your friends over to Photo Nation para sa Lakatuyan, and everyone's welcome. Last year, we began a series of live sessions within Photo Nation. It's among the first live photography podcasts in the Philippines. The very first one we aired on April 5, where we talked about the importance of printing with Alvin Lee. From there, we met photographers like Australian marine life photographer Darren Ju from the Tales by Life series on Netflix. We also met photographers like Ali Reyes, who began everyday photography workshops, and Ricky Ladja, a respected commercial photographer, both of which were part of Digital Photographer Philippines. From there, we met other community legends like Ryan Odenchal, who leads the Rasca community, and Miss Harvey Chua, the co-founder of one of the country's pioneer advertising photography studios. And finally, who wouldn't forget, the one and only Alberto Garcia, the only Filipino who's among the greatest photographers of all time. He won the 1991 World Press Photo Awards and is part of Time Magazine's Greatest Images of the 20th Century. You can watch our latest episodes available now on demand via YouTube and our Facebook page. They're also on Acast, Abo Podcast, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Just search for Film Factor Podcast. New episodes are coming this March on our new time slot, which is 8:30 p.m. Philippine time. If you miss an episode, do check them out later. As soon as we go off air, you can check out the replays. With only a year after it was established, PhotoNation has ever since been at the forefront of this new culture of photographers where it doesn't matter what medium you use as long as you deliver the output that you seek. For us who built the platform, what matters most is the photographer's eye. It has ever since shaped the way we do things, and now we are back with more. The future begins. The future begins as we go through this one at a time.
Portraits have always been what's interesting to me.
I'm happy to greet this gathering of motion picture engineers.
Art photography, sharing, taking what you see and sharing it with others.
Don't be afraid. Get out there, shoot some film.
I think PhotoNation can be a catalyst.
Photography isn't denied.
Again, we are live simulcast on Facebook Live, IGTV, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow the page, join PhotoNation, and hit subscribe. Joining us tonight are some of the best talented photographers from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with our one and only visual storyteller of the year. Good evening, Jess. We have Jess Mercado Abela, we have Lester Flores Montejo, we have Sister Jenny Yasa, and Rambert Barbaso. So again, si Jess po ay from Luzon, representing Luzon for the Ortigas Art Festival. Si Lester naman representing Cebu or the Visayas region, and Rambert representing Dipolog or the Mindanao region. And of course, Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny! Wow! Nakasama finally. Yun. Good evening! Magandang gabi sa inyo. Yan.
Good evening po.
Good evening.
Good evening sa lahat.
Good evening po.
Yan. So, it's glad to have you here finally on the podcast. We all know na meron tayong ongoing exhibit sa Estancia, and maybe for this first part, maybe we can talk about that. Siguro we can begin. I'll jump straight to it. We'll jump straight right to it. Sister Jenny siguro unahin natin. Sister Jenny, in terms of the sorry, wait lang. Let me just pull you into screen para we can show you. Hold on. Yan. Okay. So, Sister Jenny, in terms of this, how big of a deal is the opportunity of being able to exhibit your works amidst the pandemic? Gaano kalaki to, itong nangyari na exhibit for you?
First and foremost po, sobrang unexpected kasi po, hindi ko po talaga siya inaasahan na mapapasama po ako dun sa exhibit. And at the same time, very grateful po kasi dahil nabigyan po ako ng chance na ma-exhibit po yung mga photos ko po. And maka-inspire na rin po ng iba po.
Ayun. And of course, mamaya marami pa ikikwento si Sister Jenny. Siguro, let me pass this on to Rambert. Rambert, how does it feel to be able or to be part of the exhibit? And what was your initial reaction? Ano una mong reaction nung nalaman mo na ako yung magre-represent sa Mindanao or region?
I was very surprised sobra kasi it's really hindi ko talaga in-expect. And as for yung photo din na pili to it's such a privilege to show to the people what's here in the Dipolog City, especially our signature sunset here sa Dipolog. Such a privilege.
Actually, ang dami nagtatanong, di ba, yung kung saan yun. Sabi nila parang napakaganda naman ng sunset, di ba? I think sa parang Boulevard yun, di ba? Yung area na yun.
Yes.
And in terms of your
in
terms of your family naman, Rambert, ano yung naging reaction naman nila? How did they take it? Na nagulat ba sila? Natuwa ba sila?
Ang tuwa-tuwa ni Mama, syempre, the family and mga cousins na yun. And also my family, mga cousins ko in Manila went to the exhibit.
Talaga?
Exhibit. And then Yes, and then they're so happy na to have one of their family members na to be part of that exhibit din. Also, there were mga taga-Dipolog na who just dropped by sa estancia, and then other messages coming in from people I don't know, pero taga-Dipolog, and they were happy to see na may Dipolog na nasali for the exhibit.
Ayun. Again, congratulations dun sa mga ating mga kasama tonight. It's also an honor for us to be able to kumbaga represent you there sa estancia. Siguro let me pass this on to Lester naman. Actually, for those who don't know, si Lester ho ay from Cebu but he's based currently in Singapore. Hold on. I-replace lang natin. Wait lang, sorry. Yan. So Lester, in terms of kasi nga ito 'di ba, you're currently based in Singapore. How does it feel na despite nitong distance na nandyan ka, nandito kami, you're still part or you still get to be part of this exhibit?
Actually, sobrang honored ako, Sir Pans. Pero at the same time, excited ako na parang ano ko ba kasi hindi ako makapunta.
Oo nga.
May previous so far sa mga exhibits na nakasali ako, wala pang isang exhibit na nasalihan na pick yung pictures ko na nandun ako. Mostly yung parents ko yung nandun. So tapos nung nag-message na kayo na kasali ako sa exhibit, parang siyempre sobrang saya ko. Kasi siyempre it's an at least makapagbigay tayo ng inspiration sa ibang mga photographers, lalo na sa mga bago. Kasi iba yung feeling na makasali ka sa mga ganyan.
Yeah. And of course, nagawa pa tayo ng maraming ganyan. We'll try to our best to pursue more like this. Kasi ang laking privilege din for as a group, 'di ba, na ang maganda kasi sa atin lahat tayo sabay-sabay, 'di ba, na we have the wall, andyan yung mga members natin in different parts, 'di ba, andyan yung mga special. So as much as we can, we'll try to do more like this. Siguro pasa ko naman kay kay Jess. Actually si Jess ho kasi is in Pangasinan, 'di ba Jess?
Yes.
In terms of your area there, yun nga, kasi ikaw, you weren't able to go. So, how does it feel na to be part of this exhibit?
Sobrang happy po na hindi ko ina-expect din kasi. Pero kasi yung nabigay na opportunity is napakalaki po since na napakalayo po ng place namin sa mga city like sa Manila kasi mostly ng mga opportunity kasi 'di ba po sa mga for example
Ciudad,
sa Manila. Yeah. Like yung mga exhibit din po na pero super unexpected po na kasi yun po yung isa sa mga dreams ko na makasali sa isang exhibit. Tapos biglang parang binigay na lang sa akin ng Burn in Film and Photo Nation. Kaya sobrang thankful po.
Again, congratulations kay Jess, kay Lester, tsaka kay Rambert, and of course, Sister Jenny. Don't worry, magagawa pa tayo ng maraming ganito. Who knows, malay nyo, biglang i-extend yung 31 natin, di ba? Tuloy yung party. Siguro ito naman, pasok ko na sa inyong tatlo. Since nga, si Lester kasi, and si Rambert, si Lester is a Cebuano, and si Rambert naman is a Dipolog nun. And of course, si Jess naman is from Pangasinan. How big of an impact siguro for you is this sense of inclusivity sa grupo natin? Kasi we understand na marami tayong members din. Actually, kila Rambert, ang daming members sa Dipolog. And of course, sa Cebu rin, kila Lester sa Cebu, sila Kat nandyan, sila RC nandyan. How does it feel na may part kayo dito? I mean, hindi lang yung mga nandito sa Manila, malaking part din yung mga members natin outside of the central, what they call Central Luzon nga na how big of a deal is this sense of inclusivity? And yun nga, everyone's welcome here, and itong grupo na to, it acts, or yung Photo Nation, it acts as a support group din amidst the pandemic. So ano yung nararamdaman nyo that we have this and ganito yung setup natin sa group. Siguro I'll begin with kay Rambert muna. Kasi Rambert, you're also part of the team, di ba? Go ahead, Rambert.
Yun po. Really privilege talaga na to part of the exhibit, especially since Dipolog is is here in the south, and then opportunities like this is really rare, especially dito sa amin where exhibits as of now wala na masyadong exhibits actually sa locally, but to be part of an exhibit na all the way to Manila is such a privilege and very unexpected, and it raises this na it encourages din sa mga photographers here sa Dipolog na anyone can make it.
Actually, isa nga sa mga si Tito Bong kasama natin din dito sa Zoom, and one of our plans actually in the future is makakaroon tayo ng roadshow na yung exhibit natin, it's kumbaga na tatransform, nalilipat sa iba't ibang lugar, and later on, who knows, madala natin sa Dipolog, madala natin sa Cebu, sa Pangasinan, di ba? It's something na we can bring there kasi yun yung kumbaga yung saya tsaka yung being there in person, di ba? Kung hindi kayo makapunta, dadalhin namin sa inyo yung exhibit, di ba? We'll try our best, hahanap tayo ng paraan. Lester.
Akin naman, Sir Fran, sobrang overwhelmed ako na nakasali ako dyan sa exhibit na yan. Kasi at first, parang hindi nag-absorb sa akin na parang knowing na nung binasa ko na lahat na ako sa Visayas, si Ram sa Dipolog, tapos isipin mo sa dami ng photographers na magagaling sa Visayas region, na at parang ako pa yung nasali dun sa nag-represent sa Visayas. Then of course yung mga friends ko siyempre nagme-message, tapos yun, basta it's a happy feeling. Tapos at least sa ibang photographers din yun nga na nakakapag-inspire tayo ng iba na any medium, iPhone, DSLR, film camera or whatever camera you have, kahit ano pwede mong gawin, pwede mong gamitin.
Yung ganda nung sinabi ni Lester kasi nga dito sa Photo Nation walang discrimination dito kung ano yung camera mo, okay na yan, 'di ba? Kung wala kang camera, 'di ba? Si Tita Julie hindi naman photographer, they're also welcome here. 'Di ba? As long as you appreciate photos and pictures, welcome ho kayo dito. Siguro pasa naman din kay Jess. So Jess, ito nga, going back in terms of yun nga yung nasa malalayo tayong lugar, and of course the Philippines is an archipelago. Kumbaga we're born divided. Pero even if divided tayo, sama-sama pa rin tayo in Facebook, in a group. So ano yung pakiramdam mo na you're part of this?
For me po super ba to? Parang super privileged kasi yung type po kasi ng work na ginagawa ko, parang mahirap kasing isali sa yung normal na tinatawag nilang photography na hindi ginagamitan ng editing kasi pag sa akin po kapag edited na yung photos or manipulated na, parang nire-reject na nila as photography, tapos tinatawag na nilang tawag dito yung parang digital artist. Pero at the same time yung inclusivity po ng nabibigay ng community is very helpful po, kasi meron akong friend na gumagamit siya ng mobile lang. Tapos parang nagda-doubt siya na mobile lang naman yung ginagamit ko. Then I told him about this group. Tapos yun, nag-join po siya. Actually, kasama po siya dun sa Wall of Nations.
Wow! Congratulations. Ano pangalan ng friend mo?
Ano na pa yun?
Shout out!
Nakalimutan ko.
Ayun, kung sino man yung friend ni Jess, ayan, congratulations, you're also part of the exhibit. Ito nga yung kumbaga dito kasi para na tayong pamilya, 'di ba, na even if nandyan ka, 'di ba, parang kamag-anak ka lang na sa yun ang maganda sa mga Pilipino, 'di ba? Siguro pasa naman natin kay Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny, ito nga yung since we're discussing about this festival, itong Ortigas Art Festival. Ano sa tingin nyo or ano yung mga opportunities yung nagagawa nito or nadadala nitong Ortigas Art Festival in terms of helping in promoting creative Filipino photographers today?
Siguro po, like for example, in my situation, who would expect that someone like me would be part of this exhibit? Syempre, being a sister, so parang masyadong not normal for us to be part of this kind of exhibit. So it gives an opportunity for everyone na mapasali po sa ganitong klase na exhibit po or na opportunity po.
And also, sister, kasi ikaw, compared sa other guests natin tonight, you were able to go there. 'Di ba na nakadalo kayo with your with your kasama niyo hong si sister, ano ang pangalan niya ulit? Sister yung
Josina pa.
Ayun, si Sister Josina was able to accompany si Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny, nung moment, baka pwede mo ikwento yung the moment na pagpasok mo dun sa lobby ng estansya, tapos nakita mo yung exhibit, ano yung reaction niya? Baka pwede mo ikwento sa amin.
Papunta pa lang po, super excited na. I don't feel well coming po, papunta pa lang. But then yung excitement ko kasi talagang sobrang level up yung excitement ko. Kaya siguro...
Sister Jenny, isingit ko lang, sorry. Sister Jenny, singit ko lang kasi sa convent nila Sister Jenny, hindi yung basta-basta na pwede kang, I mean, di ba? You have to arrange this and everything. Hindi madali na, kasi may mga duties din sila Sister Jenny. So Sister Jenny, baka you can discuss that also kasi syempre, I mean, the others don't know about it. Sige po.
Ayun, so I was really hesitant to ask permission from my superior, but then since I really wanted to see my photos in personal, so yun, I asked her, and then the opportunity came po na I need to sign the photos. So yun, I grabbed the opportunity to ask her na, superior, wait, can we go there and sign my photos? Then yun, pumayag siya, and then we set the day, and akala ko nga hindi po matutuloy kasi nga po wala pong driver, kasi po yung driver namin, yung co-sister lang po din namin, so busy po siya. And then nagawa naman po ng paraan. And then yun po, sabay pagpunta naman po doon, I'm so excited. I was even nervous kung ano po yung itsura talaga po in person ng mga exhibit po na nandoon. So when I get to see my photos, I was really, sobrang yung ngiti ko abot tenga kasi hindi pa rin po ako makapaniwala.
Tsaka may pa flowers pa. May nagpadala ng flowers sa'yo, sister.
Ayun, isa din yun. Isa pa din po yung isang surprise. And then, thank you pala, shout out po kay Doc Marga for the flowers. Sobrang. Oo.
Sumabay din si Doc Marga sa theme.
May flowers.
may theme din si Doc Marga. Ayun. And Sister Jenny, ito nga, yung the moment na sinasign mo na yung photo mo with Tito Bong, ano yung pakiramdam mo na ito na yun? I'm in, kasama ko ng exhibit. Totoo na to. Ano yung pakiramdam mo nun?
Habang when I was signing the photos, actually nanginginig yung kamay ko sa kaba. Kasi first time kong gagawin yung ganung yung pag-sign ng photo. So talagang pinipigilan ko lang yung kamay ko na mag-shake kasi yun nga, so I have to write sign well para naman maganda naman yung outcome ng signature ko. So yun, siguro dahil lang siguro po sa sobrang excitement kaya ayun po, nag-tremble yung aking
And sister, di ba, yung, of course, other than your panel, dadaan ka doon, and then ano yung initial reaction mo when you saw the wall? Kasi parang yun yung parang pinaka-main attraction ng mga nagpupunta. Ano yung pakiramdam mo na?
Po, yun, when yung nakita, kasi sobrang excited po ako na nakita talaga yung yung wall. Kasi sobrang unbelievable kasi napagsama-sama po lahat ng members ng Photo Nation dun sa iisang wall. So sobrang nakakamangha and then nakaka-overwhelm kasi yun po, kahit man po we are not there present to see it, pero yung yung feeling na or we are all gathered in one place. So yun nakakapot ng puso.
Ayun. Thank you, Sister Jenny, para doon sa kinuwento mo. Siguro lipat naman tayo kay Lester. Nagpa-mute lang po. Ayan. Ayan. Lipat naman tayo muna kay Lester tsaka kay Rambert. Kasi si Rambert and Lester weren't able to go there. Kasi syempre in terms of distance and medyo pandemic tayo, so mahirap pumunta dito. Pa-mute po muna. I think Sister Jen. Ayan, okay. Siguro Lester and Rambert, in terms of this, kasi nga since malayo tayo, you weren't able to go there or walang way to be able to go there. Pero meron tayong tinatawag na online component. Kumbaga, may online version tayo ng exhibit, 'di ba? We tried our best to create one kasi nga sana kahit papaano you also will be able to see it. Maaaring digital man, at least may exhibit din tayo online. So, para sa inyo, gaano ka-importante na magkaroon ng ganon? Also, may VR din tayo. You can try it on your phone na parang andun ka na rin. So, in terms of technology na tinry natin or we were able to pull off, ano yung masasabi nyo tsaka gaano ka-importante sila? Rambert, go ahead. Ikaw muna. Nakamute ka, Rambert. Ayan, go ahead.
Hi. Since Dipolog City, napakalayo to going to Manila and also sa mga travel restrictions and all. Then we have the exhibit has adapted through these pandemic times, and then at least na we can still connect, we can still visit there virtually, and ayun, na-experience din namin what it's like to be in the exhibit itself.
Ayun, thank you, Rambert. Siguro Lester, ikaw naman.
I think sa akin parang nakakamangha na lang yung technology ngayon na at least kahit wala ka doon, pero yun nga, nakikita ko yung mga live nyo. So at least nakikita ko yung printed na pictures ko na nandun. And then even now, nakakatawa nga kasi yung misis ko tsaka yung anak ko, hi Ellie, nasa kabilang room nanonood. So technology nowadays is very amazing.
Hi Ellie.
Then normally nagbabrowse ako sa group, nag-grab na lang ako ng mga pictures doon, which is ang saya.
Oo. Diba? Kahit pa paano, diba? At least nagawa natin ng paraan. Diba? Yun lang naman importante.
Kaya nga.
Hopefully sana, Lester, pag natapos na to, once we do it next year again, sana, diba, makabisita ka dito kahit one day lang, diba? Para in person. Diba? So, yun. Siguro,
Maganda yan.
Oo. Siguro, lipat ko naman ulit kay balik ko naman kay Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny, ito nga since we're in a pandemic, even if we're in this pandemic, we were able to pull it off. So in terms of a message, ano yung message na ibibigay nito para dun sa mga photographers na marami na yung kinuha nitong pandemic na to, na maraming malungkot, maraming hindi nakakapag-shoot, ang daming gusto mag-shoot pero hindi makalabas, 'di ba? Na ano yung message po nito na also, even if yung mga... Sister Jenny, nawala po yung video. Even if ngayon, di ba? I mean, even the art exhibits themselves, ang Art Fair Philippines is online, di ba?
Di ko po narinig yung...
Ayun, sorry, Sister Jenny. So, the question is... the question is, even if we're in a pandemic, we were able to pull it off. So, in terms of a message, ano po yung message na dinadala nito para dun sa mga photographers na maaaring marami na yung kinuha nitong pandemic na to? I mean, their livelihood. Can you hear me, Sister Jenny? And magkakaroon lang ho ng konting technical difficulties. We're just waiting for Sister. Yan, Sister Jenny. Can you hear me? Yan, okay na po.
Yun po. Sorry po, Sir.
Sige po. Yeah, sure. Okay lang po. Can you hear me now? Okay na po.
Di po nag-connect. Sorry po.
Sige lang po. No worries.
Nawawala yung audio. Wait lang, Sir Franz. Nawawala yung audio.
Okay, sige, Sister Jenny. So, yun nga, again...
Sorry po sa technical problems.
Okay lang po, no worries. Ayan. Okay. Okay na po, Sister Jenny?
Wait lang, Sir Franz.
Sige po.
Kasi...
Sure.
Hindi nagpo-connect yung...
Ayan. Siguro, sige. Bago tayo, before we go to Sister Jenny, maybe we can, muna. Punta muna tayo kay Jess. Jess, in terms of hold on. Yan. In terms of, kasi di ba we have yung mga panels nila Sister Jenny, tapos we have your works, tapos yung wall. So in terms of having that type of inclusive exhibit, kumbaga para tayong isang malaking kung makikita mo siya in person, it looks like a museum. Di ba na pagpasok mo. So in terms of seeing that, yung nakikita mo sa mga photos, sa mga Facebook Live, ano yung pakiramdam mo? Do you feel proud to be a Filipino na dito nagsimula yan, di ba? Sa atin yan, sa Photo Nation, sa Philippines.
Oh, of course naman po. Kasi bawat picture kasi may ibang story na nakikita, and mostly kasi may mga yung pag nakita mo kasi yung mostly mga pictures dun, it depicts what is happening in the Philippines, like the poverty, yung buhay ng isang Pilipino, yung pagtinignan mo, napaka lalim po ng story, tas very connecting siya sa, kahit hindi mo man naranasan yung photo, is parang mararamdaman mo yung story behind, yung connection sa photo at yung sa viewers.
Ayun. So, ang ganda nung sinabi ni Jess. Siguro ipasa ko naman sa inyo tatlo while we're waiting for Sister Jenny. The question is, para sa inyo, kasi ang pinaka-theme natin talaga doon sa exhibit is beauty of everyday. So, di ba parang sinasabi natin pandemya, di ba? Parang lahat malungkot, di ba? Lahat hindi makalabas, lahat tayo may problema, hindi tayo yung iba nawala ng trabaho, di ba? Hindi makapag-aral, di ba? Nag-stop ng school, ganyan. Yung mga businesses nila nagsara. Napakalungkot nung 2020. And para sa inyo, kahit papano, parang sa akin nga, yung pinaka-message na nagawa natin is napakita pa rin natin yung kagandahan or yung beauty of everyday, even if ganun kalungkot yung nangyari na panahon. So para sa inyo, personally, ano yung beauty of everyday para sa inyo? Siguro kay Rambert muna tayo. Go ahead, Rambert.
Going back dun sa photo na I chose as an entry to be printed in for the exhibit was yung Dipolog Sunset Showdown was shot during the pandemic actually. Despite kasi na medyo nakakalungkot yung pandemic and it's been a struggle for a lot of us. Pero photography is really a good outlet kasi we get to be attentive to a positive outlook in life. Yung mga dinadaanan lang natin dati through photography, mas nagiging attentive tayo sa mga ganung moments like yung relating also those sa entry ko pa.
Oo nga. Again, if you haven't yet seen it, andun ho yung entry ni Rambert. Right after Tito Bong's panel, makikita nyo na ho si Tran Hong Yang, si Brian Ascueta, and then Rambert Barbaso. Makikita nyo na doon. Siguro lipat naman tayo kay Lester. Lester, ikaw, para sa'yo, ano yung kagandahan or what's the beauty of everyday? Even if we're still in a pandemic, how do you see the silver lining doon sa mga bagay na nakikita mo? Na despite everything, we were able to do this exhibit.
I think yung sa itong beauty of everyday, parang in a way parang nafe-feel sad ako kasi I love going to the streets, just like sa sinabi ni Ram na parang ngayon is when you go out kailangan mo nakamask, tapos medyo conscious kang gumalaw kasi dahil pa sa pandemic. Which is, but para sa akin, kaya same din sa kay Ram na kaya yun yung chinus kong photo na isubmit. Kasi nami-miss ko yung dating street na any time of the day pupunta ka sa market, you can see people just laughing, doing their normal things. Pero ngayon parang it's totally different. And happy pa din kasi kahit papaano we still have this because of technology, we still have this kind of things na nakapag-exhibit tayo with some restrictions, with some rules, and kahit wala tayo dyan, nakikita namin yung mga pictures namin or sa iba, nakaka-inspire pa rin tayo ng mga tao. And aside from that, parang icebreaker kahit nasa time tayo ng pandemic, at least we can have some inspirations.
Yun nga eh. Mabigat masyado yung naging taon, pero kahit papaano nahanapan natin ng kumaga ng silver lining or ng sunrise, 'di ba, dun sa lungkot nung dinanasan natin ng 2020. Siguro pasok ko naman kay Jess. Kasi actually nung ikwento ko lang kasi nga nung naghahanap kami ng shots, 'di ba Jess, karamihan ng mga photos mo talagang deep 'di ba? Yung ramdam mo yung sadness and everything. Pero nung yung shinare mo dun sa exhibit is actually something different, 'di ba? Different from those that you've done. So, in terms of that, paano mo nahanapan ng silver lining yung photos mo to that composition? Go ahead.
Connected po dun sa photo na nasa exhibit. Na I believe po kasi na some beauty are meant to be found, that we need to find them. And oftentimes, they are the most beautiful. For example, nga yung pandemic po, we see it as very sad, tapos nakakatakot, depressing. Pero if we try to find what is beautiful in that, yun yung time na naging close ulit tayo sa families natin. And just to realize that we can find beauty in something that is dark. It's always there and we just have to find it.
Yeah. Ganda ng sinabi ni Jess. Yung parang yung tipong it gave us time, 'di ba? This pandemic gave us time. We were able to utilize that time to produce this, to create Film Factor podcast, create more projects for Photo Nation and Born in Film, and who knows, baka nga nakatulong pa. I don't want to say it na nakatulong kasi syempre we have to be sensitive. Pero in a way, kailangan lang naman natin, ang mga Pilipino, we're very resilient and magaling ho tayo sa ganyan. Nakakatuwa lang na we were able to pull this off in very as smooth as we can. Thank you, Jess. Siguro lipat naman tayo kay Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny, okay na po? Are you good? Ayan. Yung tanong ko, Sister Jenny, ulitin ko lang po yung question. The question is, despite the pandemic, how or paano nyo nahanapan ng beauty of everyday? To those photos that you do, kasi I understand, Sister Jenny, yung ilan doon na sinend mo were during the pandemic, diba? So,
yes po, lahat po yun.
Sige po, baka pwede nyo ikwento na paano natin mahanap yung kagandahan ng bawat araw, even if ganito kalungkot yung pandemic.
So to inform everyone, kasi not all the sisters can go out anytime, everywhere. So in short, parang stuck lang kami dito sa loob ng kumbento. So limited lang talaga yung source ko na, yung beauty. Pero good to naman, ang kagandahan kasi we have we have space. So we have gardens around us. So from there, lahat ng kung napansin yung mga photos ko, tatlo po din sa photos ko na nasa exhibit. Dito po lahat po yun sa convent namin. So even the smallest thing can be you can see beauty in it. Kasi one of the photos there, yung Sanguine Soul, I use a macro clip lens para makita talaga yung beauty ng flower na yun. So kahit gaano kalit yung subject na gusto may capture, you can really see beauty in it po.
Ayun. Thank you, Sister Jenny. So, siguro as a final note, Sister Jenny, before we go to a break, even if we're in a pandemic, we were able nagawa natin to, we were able to pursue this. Anong message ho yung dinadala nito? Or what message does this exhibit give to the photographers who've lost so much during this pandemic? Iba nawalan ng trabaho, nagsara yung negosyo,
hindi nakapagpatuloy ng school, nag-stop ng schooling, nawalan ng trabaho, di ba? I mean, napakalungkot. And yung iba, we've actually lost, di ba? Anong message to, Sister Jenny, na gawa natin na exhibit?
Even though we are in the midst of this pandemic po, there is so much to be thankful for. Kasi unang-una sa lahat, yung exhibit, maraming artists na bigyan ng pagkakataon, katulad ko, na ma-exhibit yung photos nila. And so from there, nagkaroon tayo ng hope na in spite of this pandemic, we can still do something more. We can show others through our photos that there's still hope po.
Ayun. Ang ganda ng message, Sister Jenny. On that note, again, we will go back. Babalikan ho natin yung mga guests natin. Again, si Sister Jenny, si Lester Montejo, Rambert Barbaso, and Jess Mercado Abela. In a bit, mag-break lang ho tayo for 5 minutes and then we go back to our second segment. Kikilalanin naman natin yung mga kasama nating guests tonight. Please stay. We'll be back.
One of the things that makes anything more enjoyable is being able to share it and being part of a community.
And quite frankly, what I get from Photo Nation is the fact that it's so non-judgmental.
They're so accepting of people, and I like that about Photo Nation, that people are willing to do that.
Photo Nation is hindi lang siya Filipino-based international group. Ano siya, one big happy family talaga siya. Photo Nation is just one huge family.
I think probably the thing I like the most about Photo Nation is the fact that it's a supportive community, not there to score points.
Photo Nation, a platform that has no bashing.
It's you ask for help, you get help. The best part about Photo Nation is that everyone gets a chance to showcase their stuff. And if you ask, how did you get that? Can you teach me? The people respond and they're like, yeah, I'm actually learning things here.
We all started as a beginner, whether it's your self-taught or you learn from masters or you learn from YouTube. We should be humble enough to know and to accept that people who are willing to learn, we have to appreciate that because it's actually promoting the hobby or the passion that we love, which is photography.
Malaki talaga yung impact sa pag-i-improve ko as a photographer kasi hindi lang basics yung tinuturo, parang yung advanced stuff na.
I'm always welcome na idea na magkaroon ng isang community ang mga photographer. Yung imbis na magbangayan, nagtutulungan.
It feels really nice to be part of Photo Nation because of how active the group is. A lot of inspiration for me to take in.
Ko in-expect na ganito yung welcome ng Photo Nation sa akin.
Napagsama-sama ng Photo Nation ang mga photographer, anuman ang lahi nila.
I've met a lot of people from different regions sa country natin. Mas na-widen yung network ko.
Masaya kasi nakakapag-share ka ng free.
Na mas manada oportunidad pati health chances na mas kada grande di mi thinking about things na noy ati na kalya ko nila.
Feel like I'm with a family that supports what I love and what I am passionate about. Mararamdaman mo na may value yung gawa mo and mas nakikita mo na there is an opportunity for you to grow in this industry.
I joined Facebook a year ago and you are the first group I joined. It's one big international family. It's great to be part of Photo Nation International.
Aside from the photography memes, pinakagusto na ako sa Photo Nation is activities like Photographer of the Week and sa mga Theme of the Week. I was really happy to be featured as the Photographer of the Week. It really helps and boosts me
One of the things I like about PhotoNation is the fact that it's not limited by any demographic, by any location, or by year.
Tuwang-tuwa ako kung siyempre first time ko maging part ng isang member na may malaking community. Maganda experience ko.
Nakita na ko na daghang mga parehas na kong edad ang misulay og photography diri sa mga sa Dipolog.
Nakatabang siya ka mo-grow ko as a photographer. Maka-inspire siya sa mga kasama ko na bagungan pa. Pag-join ako aning PhotoNation kay at first kay nakulbaan ko ato kay international siya.
Pag-ayat ko kay PhotoNation kay dagiti na dumaduma nga aktibidades kay Domingo kas kuma dagiti pasali nga paka-recognizean dagiti kas kanyak nga dadamo thì photography.
Người ta thường hay nói rằng là khi mà bạn muốn đi thật là nhanh thì bạn đi một mình, nhưng mà khi mà bạn muốn đi xa thì bạn sẽ đi cùng với cả những người khác. Thành ra là khi mà tham gia vào những cái group chơi ảnh như là PhotoNation thì nó giúp mình là sẽ nhìn được thấy rất là nhiều bức ảnh đẹp, và qua đó thì và cũng nhìn và cũng gặp rất nhiều là photographer giỏi. Thế thành ra là qua đó mình được truyền cảm hứng hơn.
Aso pa na ako nung mag-join karang community. Uning manahit kong dakang inspiration.
Yung first impression ko sa PhotoNation, walang toxic sa group. Parang dito sa PhotoNation nakaka-proud kasi parang nabibigyan ng voice yung mga Filipino.
I think PhotoNation is there. It's kind of feel like home. Alam mong this group will help you grow.
Sobrang ganda ng podcast quality. Yun yung magagawa ng Pinoy. So, nakaka-proud din.
Nagulat din po ako lalo kasi almost around the world kasali ko eh. Parang ang laki pong privilege sa akin na sa Philippines po nag-start tong PhotoNation.
Pinoy pride kasi nga, di ba? Doon yung group is sa Pilipinas. So parang kaya natin makisabay at maliit tayong bansa. I think PhotoNation parang for me, yung always active na ako.
Swerte gid ko kay naging part ko sa grupo niya. Hindi ko gid malimtan ang opportunity kag hindi ko gid pagsayangan.
Marami akong natutunan, lalo yung sa masterclass.
PhotoNation expanded my global knowledge, especially regarding Filipino photography. The Philippines seems to be pretty excited and actively pursuing the craft.
Feeling ko na welcome ka talaga kasi may mga toxic na mga tao. Nakakaugmat na nakaka-inspire sinda ng mga picture ninda na tinatawat, pinapailing sa mga bawat saro.
That Worldwide Photo Walk, my gosh, I was surprised that many people showed up and it brought tears to my eyes. It was brilliant. There's so much love. I think that's the best way to say it. There's so much love in this community.
The truth is, this is merely a setback. This is merely one huge mountain that we have to traverse.
Hey, and we're still here again with our guests, Sister Jenny Yasa, Lester Montejo, Jezabela, and Rambert Barbaso. So siguro hindi ko na papatagalin. I'll head down to the first question. Actually, the first one is for Sister Jenny. We'll get to know more si Sister Jenny. Ano po yung photography style niya at paano niya na capture yung mga ganitong klase ng litrato. Good evening, Sister Jenny. Yan, welcome back. Yan. Good evening, Sister Jenny. So siguro, diretsuin ko na. Your first question is, what got you into photography? So ano ho yung nagdala sa inyo to do photography?
Kasi po, sa community namin sa convent, ako po yung taga-picture kasi ayaw ko po mapasama sa picture kasi camera shy.
Okay.
So, dun mo nagsimula.
Mm.
So, yun. Hanggang sa, I joined a Facebook, page na about photography. And then, sabi ko, bakit ang ganda ng mga photos nila while my photos are not that good? And then, yun po na-challenge. So, yun, I learned something, and try to, tawag nito, dinevelop ko po yung skills ko po sa photography kasi nga gawa na-challenge ako sa mga iba pong photographers.
Diba? Napakagaling. Actually, sa totoo lang, si Sister Jenny, alam mo, Sister Jenny, sa totoo lang, you have the eye. Natural sa iyo yung mata. Promise, lahat kami sinasabi namin yun. Totoo ho yun. Na kay Sister Jenny ho yung mata ng isang photographer. Kasi, if you joined, para doon sa viewers natin, if you joined the workshop yesterday, binanggit ko nga doon na there are two types of creatives or visual storytellers. Yung isa, probably na-discover niya early on sa buhay niya. May photographer naman or may visual storyteller na na-discover niya later on sa buhay niya. Maaring matanda na siya, maaring nasa gitna ng buhay niya, pero somehow, some way, you'll be able to discover that. So, it doesn't say na if hindi ka magaling sa ganitong bagay, it limits you, di ba? All you need to do is practice. Diba? Like what Sister Jenny does. Sister Jenny, since you are the visual storyteller of the year, ito na, it's official, you're the storyteller of the year, and it gives us the inspiration. I mean, kahit ako na-inspire, si Tito Bong na-inspire, everyone in Photo Nation, you are or you inspire. To see someone like you triumph, 'di ba? Yung parang yung ganitong makita natin na isang sister ay ang ating visual storyteller. Nakaka-proud to have that. What message, sister, can you give to those who feel down because of this pandemic? Baka may inspirational message ka.
Ayun, lahat naman po tayo may pinagdadaanan, all of us. And kapit lang tayo kasi we are not alone in this battle, in this situation. So, there's still hope. Everything will fall back in its place. So, first thing, we have to pray kasi everything will pass and God will be there for us to help us and stay strong lang and lang talaga, prayer lang talaga. Kasi whatever happens, God will be there for us. Kasi we're not alone in this battle. Yun lang talaga po.
Minsan kasi isa na yun sa mga nakakalimutan natin sa panahon ngayon, di ba?
Yeah.
Nakakalimutan natin magdasal. And tama si Sister Jenny kasi minsan, who knows, di ba? There are miracles, di ba, Sister Jenny?
Yes,
At totoo ho yan.
yes
Ako ho, personally na experience ko yan. So, malaking bagay yung prayers. Sister Jenny, in terms of advice or tips para naman dun sa mga who feel limited by the type of camera that they have. Kasi I understand you use a mobile phone or a smartphone. So para dun sa mga for those who don't know, part 2 si Sister Jenny ng first panel. Siya ho yung nasa first panel and she uses a smartphone, di ba? So sabi nga namin ngayon, sa panahon ngayon, hindi na nilalanglang ang mga mobile phones kasi you can be part of the exhibit. Sister Jenny, ano yung masasabi nyo dito para dun sa mga who feel down na, ay, naka-smartphone lang ako? Tama ba yun, Sister Jenny, na nilalanglang na lang ang smartphone ngayon? Go ahead.
Kahit ako po nung umpisa, nilalang ko lang din po yung phone ko. Kasi sabi ko, why did I join this group? Kasi nakikita ko lagi yung post nila, they are using DLSR. So, I was really hesitant to post photos sa group. So, yun. Kasi nga, mobile lang yung ginagamit ko. And, fun fact, yung phone na ginagamit ko, third user na po ako actually. Kasi for my cousin, then passed down to my sister, then pinasa niya po sa akin. So, talagang I really felt, parang insecure kasi nga, they are posting nice photos using nice cameras while me, using mobile phone. But, as time goes by, I was able to, na-master ko paano gamitin yung phone ko. It's just, creativity and, tawag nito, lang talaga, to see beauty in everything. and appreciate po yung beauty sa kung ano po yung nakikita natin around us.
Ayun, ganda ng sinabi ni Sister Jenny. Siguro now, Sister Jenny, let's now go to your, puntahan naman natin yung mga photos mo. These are some of the photos that you've exhibited, and also you included one na hindi kasali. Sister Jenny, your first photo. Kwento nyo na lang kung ano po ito. At paano nyo siya nakunan, saan siya nakunan. Go ahead, Sister Jenny. Can you see it?
Hindi ko po.
Ayan. Papin
No,
naman
sir,
ako,
I
please.
can't.
Pa-spotlight naman ako, please. Hold on. I-spotlight ko lang, Sister Jen.
Sige po.
Adrian or Cindy, pa-spotlight naman ako, please. Yung... Ayan, Sister
Ayun.
Jenny, can you see it? Sige po.
Ayan. So, yung photo na to po, actually dito lang po to sa loob ng convent namin. And then I use a macro clip lens. And this is part of the 6 photos that, yung ano po, kasi I took these photos after a retreat, 6-day retreat. So medyo, ano dito, emotional yung ano ko nito, yung reflection of this photo. And ano, kasi, for us kasi yung retreat, it's a whole day, silent lang talaga kami. So we have to reflect on ourselves. So ito yung naging isang output ko of that retreat po.
Ganda. Oo nga. Ang dami nagtatanong yan, Sister Jen, na ano yung flower na yan, tsaka sino yung kumuha niyan sa exhibit. Your next one, Sister Jen, sa convent.
Ayan. So this is a very memorable event for us kasi that year, it's a holy year. So those 2 sisters were kissing the door to receive an indulgence. Indulgence po, ibig sabihin nun, mababawasan yung punishment ng kasalanan nilang ng mga nagawa nilang kasalanan. So it was once once in a lifetime. So they grabbed the opportunity before their rite of vows. So sobrang special event for us.
Wow. Yun pala yun.
Yes po.
And ito, Sister Jen, your next one.
Ayan. So, yan? Saan ba? Saan ko ba nako? Ano lang po, saan yung namin, dining table, dining room. Next to that one, meron po kaming maliit po doon na garden. So, I just happened, while sweeping po, I just found this moth, and then I found it interesting, especially yung kulay niya. Then I grabbed my phone. I went upstairs to get my phone just to get the picture of this one. And then after I took this photo, sobrang itchy ng face ko kasi meron pala siyang small, yung parang tiny, something, part ng katawan niya. And then it fell on my face. Sobrang kape niya. Pero worth it naman yung pagkuha ko ng photo.
Dumapo sa mukha ni Sister Jenny.
Oo. Nagtaka nga yung mga co-sisters ko, ba't namamaga yung mukha mo? Ano ginawa mo? Sabi ko, hindi ko na sinabi. Baka kasi.
Buwis buhay pala.
Buwis buhay. Yes, sir.
Ito, Sister Jen, yung next mo. Actually, ito yung pinaka-paborito ko dun sa mga in-exhibit mo. Yan. Actually, na-feature yan madalas sa Digital Monday. Go ahead.
Yes. Ayan naman, isa din yun sa nangyari lang yan. Sweeping again, afternoon. So, while sweeping, I found this, yung cover ng isang fruit ng mahogany tree. Yung cover yan, yung shell. So, So, I was thinking, what should I do with this one? So, parang nagkaroon ako ng idea, why not use it as a frame? So, yan. And then, since naman din, pa-sunset na, so I use it for that, for that photo. And then, again, that day also kasi, din yun, recollection namin. Recollection, it's a whole day, whole day na silent kami lahat. So, may reflection din ako dyan na, na ginawa. So, kaya yan po yung, naging output ko that day. So, every day kasi parang may output. Gusto ko magkaroon ako ng output ko. I mean, photo na magre-reflect kung ano yung araw ko that day. So, kaya I have this
Sister
photos.
Jenny, ang dami nagko-comment si Carl. Sabi niya, grabe daw yung story mo dun sa convent. Tapos, money shot daw. Tapos sabi ni Miss Alda, yung wife ni Sir Palos, buhay na buhay, ang ganda ng pic. Sabi ni Christine, ganda daw, sister. Tapos sabi ni Carl, grabe yung mata ni Sister Jenny. Grabe daw yung mata mo, sister. Tamo, sabi sa'yo
Ano ba yung mata ko? Siguro, the Lord gave me these eyes to use it, as a instrument so that others can be inspired.
Totoo. Ayan. The next one. Yun.
Ayan.
Hindi pa
Isa
nila
din
nakikita
sa
yan.
mga, memorable photos ko. Apat yan na photos. I took it last January 1. Kasi yung 2 photos represents the past and the 2 photos represents the present. So that picture, it's 8 note. 8 note kasi signifies December 8. December 8 kasi that's the first day I wear my veil. The first time I wear my veil. So that's December 8, 2014. So it signifies my past to remind me na, that's how I journeyed in this religious life in my sisterhood. So that's the significance of that 8 note. The December 8, when the first time I wear this veil po.
Wow. So may significance pala yun.
Yes.
Ganda ng mga storya ni Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny, in terms of eto na, we're down to our last question for you. Baka may message ka to those who are watching you tonight. Ito, kila Carl, kila Christine, kila Miss Alda. Baka po may message kayo. Go ahead.
Sa lahat po ng mga nanonood ngayon, thank you for appreciating my photos. And for sure naman po na you can also do the same thing like what I did. Kahit whatever medium that you have, cellphone or DLSR, it's just a matter of how you use it or how you find things around you and appreciate them.
Ayun. Thank you, Sister Jenny. Now, babalikan natin si Sister Jenny in a bit. Please stay, Sister Jenny. Babalikan ka namin. But before that, kilalanin naman natin yung next speaker natin, which is from Pangasinan. Jess Abela. Good evening, Jess. Ayan, welcome back. I'll dive into it. Diretsuhin ko na. The first question, what brought you to photography? Bakit photography yung pinursue mo na passion?
Actually, before I started sketching po. And then after that, I did also painting. And then later, na-discover ko po yung photography. And I think it's the storytelling aspect na nagustuhan ko talaga. And it just happened na photography is, I think, the best medium that works best for me. And it started when I was graduating in college. Na nag-start po ako usually naman po kasi pag mag-start pa lang yung mga leaves pa lang pinipicturean, mga bagay lang sa paligid. And then, dumating din yung time na I was really down and I feel really empty and sobrang bitter ko sa life and sobrang inggit sa mga yung insecurities. And then I found this way of expressing myself through fine art photography. And sabi ko sa sarili ko, what if I make an art without, you can, I know I can edit photos and I can take pictures and maybe using that, I can express myself without even speaking a single word. So, doon po nag-start yung mga images na ginagawa ko ngayon.
Yun. Ganda ng storya ni Jess. Kasi nga may personal, diba, may hugot si Jess dito. Jess, you are you won Photo of the Year for Photo Nation Awards. What can you say about 2020 and how has 2021 been so far for you? So kasi we're going to almost patapos na rin yung first quarter. Papunta na tayo sa second quarter ng taon. And kamusta na siya ngayon? And kamusta yung 2020 for you? While you're talking about that, papakita natin yung photo mo. Go ahead.
2020 actually yung nag-start po yung 2020 para yung pandemic kasi yung parang pag sinabi mong 2020 it's the pandemic na naiisip natin agad. Then nag-start na yung restrictions tapos yung quarantine. Actually as an artist parang wala naman masyadong nagbago except na natatakot ka lang lumabas kasi baka hawaan ka, pero kasi most of the time sa bahay lang naman po ako gumagawa. Pero it's really dark then and sad kasi maraming nagkakasakit. And then, dumating yung 2021.
Ganun pa rin.
Yeah, actually, yung 2021 siguro yung pinaka-darkest chapter ng life ko. And dun ko nalaman yung page ng Photo Nation. And it helped me to like cheer up. And sobrang laki po ng Photo Nation na, for example, makalimutan ko for a moment yung pinagdaraanan.
Ayan, we understand. Jess, we understand. Actually, alam mo, sa totoo lang ako rin, ay naiintindihan ko yung where you're coming from kasi ako mismo, nag-quit ako ng photography nung namatay yung father ko. And sabi ko nga, bakit ko pa i-pursue to? Diba? Parang, what's left for me? Pero yun nga, nakita ko yung Photo Nation, diba? Na we're in this community. And at least, diba? We get to share this with more people. Yun. So, siguro, Jess, may yung pwede mo ikwento siguro yung story behind yung photo of the year last year. Ito, we'll show it on screen. Go ahead, Jess.
The story about the photo po is yung what is actually happening right now, the pandemic. The story actually, it's actually dark. It's one of my darkest art. Kung nakikita nyo naman po, meron yung burning ng bodies na infected ng virus. Pero how we ask the victims if they are happy. Siguro kasi maybe they are happy kasi hindi na sila magsasuffer kasi wala na yung as they die, as they burn away. Pati yung mga pain and fears nila kasama na ring mawawala. So siguro yun yung something na beautiful dun sa photo na most of the time hindi nakikita ng tao. Pero sabi ko nga, we should also look for the beauty because sometimes they are the most beautiful.
Sabi ko nga kay Jess, yung photo niya na to, di ba parang beauty amidst disaster. Di ba? Yung parang somehow, ang ganda niya tingnan, pero malungkot. Di ba? Parang there's a mix of that emotions. And kung ano yung gustong i-translate ni Jess na emotions, nadala niya eh, 'di ba? Actually, that's one of the things kung bakit ito yung napili na photo of the year. And it's such a great honor to have Jess in Photo Nation kasi nakaka-inspire in a way na, I mean, 'di ba? Si Tito Bong, lagi sinasabi, ang ganda ng mga photos ni Jess, 'di ba? They deserve to be recognized. So, 'yun. Jess, oo. In terms of kasi you do composites, yan yung parang forte mo talaga, composites and fine art. Ano yung pinaka gusto mo? What do you love most about what you do?
Siguro ang isa po doon is actually the process itself, yung pagtitake ng self-portraits. Kasi habang ginagawa mo po kasi yun is ma-experience mo talaga yung, for example, sa putikan, ma-experience mong madumihan. Sa mga bato-bato, ma-experience mo yung sakit ng yung pag nakapaa ka lang. Actually, parang yun yung talagang kaya ako ginagawa is to feel more. Parang yung kakaiba yung feeling na gumagawa ka na nararamdaman mo rin yung ginagawa mo. Tapos, you are the artist and at the same time, ikaw rin yung character. Pero sa editing naman po, actually yung gusto ko lang dun part is yung patapos na, yung sa may color grade. Kasi yung pag-manipulate and pag-composite talagang napakahirap po. Pero pag natapos man naman, so super satisfying.
Yun, oo. And speaking of fine art and composites, tingnan na natin yung mga photos ni Jess. So, Jess, ito yung first photo mo that you sent us. Go ahead. Ganda nito. Tsaka, for those who don't know, si Jess din ho, kadalas sabi nga niya, tinanong ko siya kanina, Jess, dun ba sa mga composites mo or dun sa mga fine art mo, ilang percent na ikaw yung nandun sa ano? So, kumbaga sabi nga namin nila Lester, nila Tito Bong, parang it's the second level of self-portraits, diba? Kasi si Jess din ho yung mga characters dito, diba, Jess? So, go ahead, Jess.
That picture is, I made that picture after, actually parang dedicated yan dun sa dog namin na namatay. Actually mag-isa ko lang nandito sa bahay, and then kasi boy na boy pa naman dyan before I left. Then pagbalik ko parang wala na siya, tas parang ang sad lang na hindi ko man lang siyang nakita or naalagaan before she passed away. So I made that image for her, and actually the meaning is all about the flower symbolizes all the memories that we live in this world when we die. So yung body man is mabulok, or yes, pero yung mga memories na naibahagi natin sa iba, mananatili po sa earth.
Ganda. Ganda nung ano. Sabi nga ni Madam Liza, nag-comment siya, our chief admin, sabi niya, malakas ang impact ng photos mo, Jess. Gustong-gusto ko rin ang proseso ng pagkuha mo ng mga litrato. I always see your passion, and that touches the viewers tonight. So, yan. Sabi rin ni Dandel, ganda po, Lodi Jess, di ba? Ayun. So,
thank you po.
Next, Jess, ito. Your next photo. Wow. Ikaw rin to. Wow. Ganda. Go ahead.
Yes po. This one was, I think, 2020 ko to ginawa. And this is about becoming another person. It's like wearing a mask na we thought na maybe that persona is who we really are, and we try to embody it. But then later in life, we realize that it's not really who we are. And then we wear off that mask or that persona, we let it die, and then we embody another one, someone na mas stronger and braver, and we let the other persona die in favor of growth and for new things to come and to grow.
Joking aside, Jess, sabihin ko sana, dapat si Jess yung nag-workshop kahapon, hindi ako. Yan ang visual storytelling. Di ba? Okay, yung next shot mo, Jess. Ang ganda. Ayan, dami nagko-comment. Sabi ni Christine, ang raw ng emotions ng photos mo. Tapos, sabi ni Christine ulit, ang gaganda, iba yung feels. Yan. Okay, next. Go ahead. Wow.
This image is about my childhood. The kite represents my childhood. My favorite color is yellow po. And then meron may tali sa my head, actually blinding the eye, because as I grow up kasi po, I never dreamed, because meron kasing time na when I was young, about 5 years old, we were in a classroom with my teacher and my classmates. Naka-circle po kami. And then the teacher asked us the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? One by one. And then, super excited ko po nun na sabihin kung what I want to be. And then I told her I want to be a magician. And then she told me that is impossible. You cannot be a magician. Parang she just wants us to be safe. Like, she wants me to pick, like, become a doctor or something of that profession. Pero yung sinabi niya po yun, parang tahimik na lang ako. Parang yung super, alam niyo po yung super saya mo, tapos bigla kang sinat down, ganun. Sabi ko na lang, nagtitinda ng damit. So parang napilitan lang ako na mag-made up ng something na hindi ko naman talaga gusto. So I grew up without knowing what my dreams are. And this is the picture na representing that.
Ang lalim. Ang ganda. Hindi ko na kung nasasabihin ko, Jess. Ang ganda, promise. May nagko-comment ito. Sabi ni Miss France. Sabi niya, si France Luis from Archers Network. Pwedeng pang indie film daw yung mga photos mo. Ako na sasabihin ko, parang nga siyang pwedeng pang album na yung mga album covers. Napakaganda. Sabi ni Tita Julie, sarap pakinggan ni Jess magkwento. Naku, alam mo, Jess, pag may time ka, bisita ka sa Discord kasi I'm sure matutuwa kila Tita Julie. Ayan. Si Kyle, sabi niya, silent fan of your work, Jess. When you take time to read the story behind these photos, mararamdaman mo talaga. Grabe, sabi niya. Tapos si Tito Bong, may tanong siya, how long does it take to create such an awesome image? Gano'ng katagal to, Jess, inaabot?
Depende po sa mga props na. Kasi po minsan, pag kailangan ko ng mga props, minsan ako rin yung gumagawa. Most of the time, it takes hours before I even press the shutter button. Tapos, pero actually, the most easiest part is the shooting because probably I need like mga 10 to 30 images lang naman. Then, pinakamatagal po yung post-processing, siguro mga 5 hours minimum.
Oh, grabe. It takes tremendous effort to pull off photos like this. So, ang yun nga para sa mga inyo, imbis na mag-bash kayo, please respect yung mga creatives na ganito. Kasi, tingnan nyo naman, yung effort that was put into it is really tremendous. The next photo, Jess, ito po. Yan. Tingnan natin yung next photo po ni Jess. Go ahead, Jess.
Isa po ito sa pinaka-old na photo na nagawa ko. It's all about fear and how they could shut down our minds or affect our minds and how we think. Actually, may kinalaman. Parang connected din siya actually sa process because ginawa ko tong image na to out of bravery. Kasi dun sa area na yan, may mga frogs, may tadpole dun sa may paddle. Sobrang takot ko po sa mga frogs. So, yung ginawa ko yung image na yan, nakita ko, pumalik ako papuntang bahay. Tapos parang na-feel ko na, parang sayang naman. Babalik, di ko gagawin yung napakagandang idea at image na to dahil lang sa fear. And na-realize na mas malaki po yung passion ko at yung inspiration na nararamdaman ko para i-push yung image. Kaya pumalik po ako dun sa paddle. Tapos habang ginagawa ko yun, yung feeling po na nararamdaman mo na kasama mo yung fear mo, sobrang cathartic po.
Wow. Ayan, duman yung nagko-comment, Jess. Sabi niya, ang lalim. Tapos sabi niya, ay, si Tita Julie, for your information, si Tita Julie tsaka si Chef Aika, ini-stalk na yung Facebook mo. Tinitingnan nila yung mga behind the scenes mo. Later on, ipapakita ko natin yung behind the scenes ni Jess. Tapos sabi ni Tita Julie, ang sasabihin daw niya sa teacher mo, never step on anyone's dreams. Yan. Aawayan daw ni Tita Julie yung nagsabi sa iyo nun. Tapos sabi ni Rai, very connected ako kay Jess, goosebumps. Tapos sabi ni Miss Alda, ang lupet, super astig. Tapos yan, nag-agree din si Kyle. Nag-agree daw siya na nagkakaroon silang goosebumps ngayon nung narinig nila yung story mo. So, yun, Jess. So, siguro naman, Jess, in terms of siguro we're down to our your behind the scenes. Wait lang Let me just pull it up on screen. Okay. So habang pinapalabas ko siya, Jess, kwento mo na lang. Eto, wait. May video, may audio ba to?
Meron po music.
Sige, wait. Let me Hindi naman siya wait. Ayan. Jess, kwento mo lang, Jess. Go ahead.
Wait, hindi ko po nakikita.
Ay, sorry. Papin naman ako, please. Yan. Can you see it?
Yes po.
Yan. Balik ko lang.
Ano po yan?
Wait lang. Replay. Yan. Okay.
Dito po kasi sa amin, marami talagang kasi hindi naman siya city, so maraming mga beaches, gano'n.
Ang ganda naman sa inyo.
Sa Agno po yan.
Oo. Malapit lang to sa inyo, Jess?
Medyo malayo po.
Malayo.
Mga 1 hour. Pero mga lang po siguro 1 to 2 hours.
Ito ba yung ginawa mo yung lantern?
Ay, hindi po. Ibang beach po.
Ito yung ginawa mo yung sa video natin. Yung sa year-ender.
Ay, hindi.
Iba pa yun.
Yan po yung sa may ano na ba yun? Yung photo na yung last sunset, yan din po yun. Pero lang siya.
So ito yung process mo. So may tripod ka, tapos tama ba? Tina-timer mo?
Opo. Kung wala akong remote timer.
Effort! Grabe, effort! Grabe.
Yan po yung yung sapa, yung sa bato kasi medyo masakit sa paa.
Tapos syempre hahabulin mo yung beep ng camera mo, di ba?
Opo.
Grabe, effort.
Actually, yung yung breeze po ng tubig umaabot sa may camera.
Oo nga, ito na, ayan, nakikita ko yung Grabe. Nilagay mo rin dito just yung output sa video.
Opo, sa
sige.
last. Pero hindi po yan yung sa last sunset, pero parang yun din po siya.
Umuulit na pala siya. Ay, wait. Ay, sorry. Balikan natin. Ayun, ito, tinan nyo guys. Oh. Diba? Ganda. And okay, next. Natin yung next behind the scenes ni Jess. Ito na.
Yan po yung first na edit. Yung hindi siya square format.
Okay lang. Effort.
Usually po I start with sketching. Pero dapat meron na akong idea and concept before ko siya sketch. Para alam ko kung ano yung spacing ng mga elements sa photo.
Grabe, ganun pala yun. Ayun, ang dami nagko-comment, oh. San ka daw part ng Pangasinan? Pupuntahan ka ni Tita Julie, lagot ka. Saan part ka daw ng Pangasinan?
Burgos po.
Burgos daw, Tita Julie. Lagot ka. Aawain na daw niya yung teacher mo. Sabi ni Carl, yung effort mo daw, grabe. Salute daw. Tapos sabi ni Dandel, kaya ramdam na ramdam yung photo ni Jess, pinaghihirapan. Oo, tama yun.
Ito po actually yung pinag-effort ko para sa exhibit. Kaya talagang as much as possible, itong photo talaga na to. Kahit yun.
Grabe, effort. Hindi ka pa Jess, hindi ka pa mini-message sa mga advertising companies or mga
hindi
magazines?
Po.
Hindi pa. Alam mo ito, yung mga works mo, papasa to sa mga Vogue, mga ganyan. Promise. Who knows, 'di ba? Baka may nanonood dito na member natin na nasa US, 'di ba? Ma-discover ka. 'Di ba yung mga photos ni Jess pang pang Museum of Modern Art. Yung mga pwede mo itapat kay Ansel Adams, yung mga ganyan.
Sabi naman po. Ay, dyan pa ako usually nag-shoot. Dyan po yung sa harap ng malapit lang sa bahay.
Ang ganda naman. Saan to? Sa labas? Sa likod lang ng bahay nyo?
Sa harap po. Tatawid pa pero sa daan. Kasi may cemetery po sa tabi niya. So parang bakante lang po siya.
Araw-araw? Ano yun? Ano yun? Totoong yun?
Hindi po. Plastic.
Okay, akala ko totoong snake. Sabi ko, lumit. May totoong snake. Ayan. Sabi ni Miss Alda, A for effort daw. May YouTube ka ba daw? Ayan, nagkatanong sila, baka may YouTube ka na daw.
Meron po.
O, yan,
Jess Abelia po.
Jess Abelia daw sa YouTube. Yan si Dandel. Sabi ni Miss France, yan, A+++ talaga for effort. Sabi ni Tita Julie, tinamo yung nanap na niya yung connection nyo. Sabi niya, Tubong Rosales daw yung daddy niya. Alam mo ba yun kung saan?
Alam ko.
Alam ko, Tita Julie. Sabi sa'yo ni-research ka ng Tita Julie, lagot. Pati yun, inisa-isa mo.
Actually, po yan. Ginagamit ko rin siya pang stock image. Kaya pinicturean ko siya ng maraming angles.
Have you Jess, na-try mo ng have you tried selling your photos?
Hindi pa po.
Hindi pa. We're actually we're in the process of discussing this with Tita Harvey kasi Tita Harvey business of photography siya. Ang pinaka main plan for in the future ng Born in Film, magkaroon tayo ng yung exchange. It can be within the website. We'll have an online gallery. Diba? Tapos gagawa tayo ng workshops on how you can Sayang, alam mo, you deserve to be discovered, promise. Di ba pati yung makeup, ikaw rin gumagawa? Grabe. Sabi ni Miss France, you'll be a great production designer and a colorist in a Hollywood film, sabi niya. Sabi ni Chef Aika, Jess, my goodness, naluluha ako and saludo ako sa efforts mo. Big respect.
Thank you po sa lahat.
Sabi niya, pero kinabahan daw siya sa snake. Talaga si Chef, no? Ilang oras daw to, Jess? Ilang oras siya inabot?
Actually, siguro po mga 10 hours. Kasi actually, inedit ko pa rin po yung Di pa po siguro kasama yun.
Oo, yung
ginawa ko
inabol
siyang
natin.
square.
Oo. You know?
May nakatingin po dyan na matanda.
Saan
Kaya,
yung matanda?
Dito po sa right side. Kaya tinitingnan ko po. Tapos nagka-clap po siya.
Okay. Yun, kaya mo siya tinitingnan.
Hindi ko na po nakunan yung ibang art.
You know? You know? Yun din sa labas nyo rin yan, di ba?
Yan po yung kanina. Yung sa may cemetery. Iba lang po yung damo niya that time.
Okay, next. I think this is your last video, no? Ay, ito rin yun. Na-doble. Hold on. Sige, wait. Tatlo yung Jess, no? I think mali yata yung na-copy ko. Wait lang ha, let me load it. So yan, baka may gusto kayo dagdag in terms of tips para dun sa mga gustong mag-pursue ng ganito, Jess. Ano yung una nilang kailangan isipin if they'd like to do a fine art or composite like what you did dun sa Ortigas Art Festival?
Opo, kasi una-una dapat alam mo yung story mo. Dapat alam mo yung concept. Kapag gagawa ka ng concept, sa akin po, ginagamitan ko po kasi ng symbols. For example, merong kite. Hindi ko nilagay yung kite na doon dahil maganda, or kahit kung may bird man doon, hindi ko nilagay yung bird dahil maganda. Pero nilagay ko siya dahil may meaning. So, kung gagawin po ako ng story, hanapin ko yung mga symbols. Saka po, pagsasamahin sa isang photograph. Saka ko siya sketch. Yan.
So, yun. So, ito na yung last or your last behind the scenes. Sige, silipin natin. Ano naman to, Jess?
Yan din po yung sa 2021. Yung maraming patay na nakahiga.
Yung ano mo, photo of the year, tama?
Hindi po.
Iba?
Yung madaming
okay. Yung sabi mo yung maraming personalities ba yan? Ay, maraming
persona.
Persona. Ang ganda naman sa inyo. Anong oras to, Jess?
Ang mga 5 a.m. po yan, ng December. Pag December po kasi dyan ma-fog.
Para ka na sa ibang bansa. Ganda. Oo. Ganda, oh. Ito sa labas nyo lang to.
Opo. Sa kabilang po. Yan na po yung sa likuran lang.
I really love shooting with nature. It is what makes me feel most connected to reality, to my story, to myself. Even though sometimes
Ayan
it
po
is
yung masakit sa paa.
Oo nga. Siyempre, makikita kung mag-chinelas ka, di ba? Makikita doon sa shot sa may tatabi. Hindi mo maitatabi yung chinelas.
We spend so much time making excuses for why we don't do something. I prefer things to be easy and
Tapos sa
safe.
pinaka-old na mga pictures ko na
But this is why I endure the feeling of a dirty feet. The scratches.
Sabi ni Erwin, isa lang daw masasabi niya, imagination, creativity, and effort at its finest. Kudos daw.
Thank you po.
Tapos sabi ni Franz, you have your own magic, Jess. Continue to be magical.
It is what makes it memorable when I'm connected to my process, that I create more meaningful for my art, that I create through the uncomfortable, so I can
Yan
feel
po yung sa may frog.
Oo nga no. Oo nga no. Tsaka mahirap dyan, Jess. Ikaw rin kasi yung subject. Di ba? Kung ano, maintindihan ko yan. Kung ang dami ko rin kasi nakita ng photographers na who do this. Pero ang hirap kasi ikaw yung subject eh, di ba? Parang siguro rin yung photographer.
something that represents how my life has been. A representation that is so bold. It's the first thing I think of when I
Parang
look
ginawa
back
ko
in
rin po to dedicated sa mga sa mga tao na hinahanap nila yung passions nila sa life.
in favor of change.
Kasi sinasabi ko sa sarili ko na yung passion po natin, parang yun yung pinaka greatest gift na mabibigay natin sa sarili natin. Kaya we need to find it.
To face the new sun. But with that so much meaning and inspiration
Skip
I
ka
get
konti.
from my art, I heard people saying that
Password natin. Saan yung ano? Ay, ito. Ayan.
my turning into dust.
Saan nila pwede mapanood to, Jess? Sa YouTube mo?
Larger and even more powerful.
Yan po yung pinaka-first na na-print ko na image. Pangalawa
Ganda.
po yung nasa exhibit.
Well, ano, ayan. Thank you, Jess. So, siguro, in terms of your last question before we move on to the next, siguro yung, if not for photography, Jess, ano yung ipopursue mo? Kunyari, for example, hindi mo na-discover tong photography, what might have you been up to siguro, aside from this?
Siguro po, if not painting or drawing, siguro po violin.
Oo nga, nakita ko ito mag-violin. Ayun. For those who know, napakagaling mo mag-violin ni Jess.
Hindi naman po.
Sige, go ahead. So, musician. Diba?
Opo. Or siguro, writer. Pero kasi parang nahilig po ako sa pag-write. Kahit na
Alam
nahihirapan.
mo, Jess, we have the magazine. Gusto mong magkaroon ng just let us know. Baka gusto mong gumawa ng parang reflection on your artworks. Just let us know. Para it provides you more, diba? Space to, to explore, diba? Pag-usapan natin after. Para, ayun. So, Jess, your, siguro your final message to the viewers.
Siguro po, it doesn't matter kung ano yung ginagawa. Marami po kasi akong nababasa or nalalaman na binabash kasi it's not representing the country or ganun. Pero hindi mo naman kailangan always na i-represent yung nation mo. Or kung ano man yung ginagawa mo, just do it. And don't let people label it. Because yung label na yun yung hahadlang sa limit. Yun yung bibigyan ng limitation sa ginagawa mo. For example, you are labeled this thing. And ang gagawin mo lang yung mga bagay na ginagawa ng bagay na yun. So, don't let people label you. Siguro pwede mo i-label yung sarili mo.
Pero other
generally,
people.
Pero don't let people label you. And just do what you want. Just do. Just create.
Ayun. Napakaganda ng mga shinare ni Jess tonight. Thank you, Jess. Please stay. Meron pa tayong ending questions. Thanks, Jess. So, for now, let's now move on to our next. Kilalanin naman natin one of our members who is representing Cebu. Ayan, ito. Ayan. Joining us tonight, again, welcome back, Mr. Lester from Cebu. Ayan. First question, Les, didiretsuhin ko na. What got you into photography? Ano yung paano mo or bakit mo pinursue itong photography?
I think nasulat ko na to before Sir
Oo.
Franz nung I think simula to nung bata pa ako eh. Mga kindergartens, I really love to draw. I really love to draw landscapes, waterfalls, and all of this stuff. And then sa school namin, on my elementary days, nag-represent din ako sa school na about drawings. And then moving forward siyempre nung nagtrabaho na, siyempre you want to try different thing, and then
Right.
it happens na parang start na maging accessible yung phone na may camera until nagbili ako ng first DSLR ko. And then yun na. Since from the start, I think way back 2008 until now, walang hinto yun. All into photography na ako. So it's purely a hobby, and then I really like not only the picture itself, but I like the whole process, taking pictures, going out, because I always love to go out. Hindi ako parang kung sa amin nga sa misis ko, opposite kami siya, taong bahay ako. I always love to go out.
Ang labas.
And then now I don't know if I would say any genre of my photography, because right now anything that I like to shoot, I will really shoot. But if on this day, on that day, I don't feel like I don't want to shoot, then I'll just stay at home. And then yun nga, parang it's more on simply like for now, simply it's like a stress reliever for me. When you go out, just walk for the record, naka-walk ako ng 10 kilometers for straight with backpack, just for shooting in the street.
Grabe.
So,
Actually, ang saya dyan mag-photo walk sa Singapore kasi ang dami mo nakikitang mga sceneries, buildings, 'di ba?
pero in time
sa iba
akin,
ba to? Go ahead.
Pero for sa akin in time, I mean, I came here Singapore 2011. Of course, parang halos lahat same na yung lahat ng gulo.
Maliit lang kasi ang Singapore. Yeah.
I still miss the ambience na yung nasa market, nasa wet market.
Cebu.
Medyo may putik, mga yung normal na wet market sa atin.
Right.
So of course you will still miss those. And then yeah, I really love what even now okay. This one is lalo na nung nag-jump ship akong film last 2014. Starting on that year, I think maybe 80 to 90% I'm shooting out with my film camera compared to my digital. Then last 2 to 3 years, I nagagamit ko na lang yung digital camera ko pag may event or may family outing, parang ganyan.
So yun, si Jeswo kasi, actually, just to add, si Jeswo yung na-nominate din one of the film photographers of the year. In terms of since you mentioned film photography, Les, bakit kailangan ng mga tao matry ang film photography, at least just for once? Bakit nila kailangan matry yung process na to? Analog process. Go ahead.
Actually, yan yung question ko sa mga friends ko before. Way before ako nag-shift ng film cameras, may mga photography friends ako na shoot ng film. And that time, I don't really understand. I sometimes even questioning them why go back to film. But at the back of my mind, someone says, why don't you try? Why don't you try? Why don't you try? And then one day, I tried it. Tapos yun na, nalulong na sa film.
Oo.
And then only 2019, I started to process my own films at home. And then if kung malaki lang, kung may lugar lang sana ako dito, gusto kong mag-print din ng ano din ng dark room kaso walang space na. So so developing muna tayo.
Tsaka, you're very fortunate dyan sa Singapore kasi kompleto, di ba? Anything that you need, available sa Singapore in terms of analog, di ba?
Yun din yung maganda dito kasi locally, yung film dito is
thriving
Oo, madami. Pupunta ka lang sa isang shop dito, parang isang buong building. Wala na. Yun nga, yung sabi kanina ni Sir Bong, parang nalulungkot siya pag aalis siya na wala siyang nabibili doon sa Peninsula Plaza.
Nakapunta na ako dyan. Dinala ako dyan ng mga Pinoy graphers, di ba? Sa may malapit sa Clarke Quay, di ba? So, in terms of, since you mentioned film photography, Les, ano yung pinakagusto mo? What do you love most about film photography?
Actually, the whole process itself. Parang it's purely manual. At first, I can compare it with the only way to describe it is to compare it to my first digital shots. Kapag feeling ko pag nag-shoot akong digital, parang shoot lang ako ng shoot. Shoot and chimp. Parang ganun lang. Tapos nung nandito ko na sa film, mag-iisip ka talaga na before mo i-click yung isang frame, you need to think kung deserving ba yung frame na yan for one shot. Kasi kung i-divide mo yung 36 frames sa presyo ng film,
mahal.
Expensive yung every frame mo. So, but I've really learned, actually when naging seryoso ako sa film, kasi parang dito ko natutunan, parang sabi ko nga, parang I lost so many years shooting digital. Parang I lost so many learnings nung nag-shoot akong digital. Sana nag-shoot akong film before. Kasi ang sobrang dami kong natutunan. Parang dito ko na-absorb lahat kung ano talaga yung photography.
Diba? Composition, yung process.
Yan, composition. Basta lahat dito ko natutunan and it's really fun. It's really fun.
Yun. So, thank you, Jess. Siguro ngayon naman, silipin natin. I'm sure yung iba dito, ayan, nagkatanong sila. Gusto na daw nila makita yung mga photos mo. So, siguro we can begin with the one that you submitted for the Ortigas Art Festival. So, kwento mo na lang, Jess, kung ano yung story behind this, bakit ito yung napili mo. Tapos, in terms of camera, kwento mo na lang din ano yung ginamit mo and everything. Go ahead. First one.
Oh, okay. I think na-mention ko to before kanina nung nag-ano tayo. Nung nabasa ko na yung Team Beauty of Everyday. The first picture that came out of my mind is yung streets ng Philippines. Yung parang normal ways natin. Na walang hindi ka conscious lumakad, hindi ka takot lumabas. So kasi sa akin, I love to shoot people at their own normal ways. Yung hindi mo dinidirect. Parang passing lang may makita ka. So, yun yung mga normal normal shoots ko. So, and then naalala ko ito, shout out pala kay Sir Anthony Santiago. Kasi from Photo Dropouts, kasi sila yung nagturo sa amin ng processing na ganito. Wow. Actually, this is common, pero sa kanila ko natutunan to. And then, itong picture na to, ito yung parang first na dumating sa isip ko na isa-submit ko. So sinubmit ko. So, yan.
Ganda.
Kaya,
tsaka, kumbaga diretso na Cebu yung represented dito. Kasi ang daming ang dami ng icons ng Cebu. Like for example, pag pinakita mo yung Magellan's Cross, alam mo na agad na Cebu. 'Di ba? Pag pinakita mo this is another side, 'di ba, na napakita mo. Napakaganda.
Actually dalawa yung pinag-iisipan ko yung isa, yung may gitara. Actually, pinost ko din yan. Pero mas preferred ko itong frame na to.
Ganda. Very natural, tsaka very candid. Diba na hindi siya Yan. Okay, yung next mo, Les. To.
Okay, memorable to. This was shot with Nikon D40 and with a kit lens. Bakit memorable to? This is the first time na nagbili akong ND Grad filter. This is the first shot. And then, kasi ako nung parang bili mo na ako nito, pero hindi ako nagbabasa ng mga technical na. Babasa lang ako overview. Tapos bibili ako. Yung pinakamura, yun yung binibili ko. Tapos, nung nakita ko yan, napapawaw ako. Tapos, I think meron akong sinubmit dyan, Sir Franz, na isa. Yung bridge na pink.
Yes.
Yun yung second na frame ko, which is sinubmit ko for a photo contest sa Sunstar.
Sige,
And then,
ko.
bakit siya naging memorable? Kasi nung pinrent ko na yung frame na yan, merong photographer doon na palabiro talaga. Tapos sobrang galing niyang photographer. Pero palabiro, hindi siya offensive na biro yung normal na biruan. Sasubmit mo yan sa photo contest, bakit may sky ba na pink? Tawa kami ng tawa lahat. And then, so at that time, hesitant akong isubmit. But since na-print ko na, isubmit ko na.
Right.
And then, later on, nanalo.
This one, ito, nakita ko na. Pakita natin sa screen. So, ito yung sinasabi ni Lester. Diba?
Yan.
Ganda nga. Ganda siya. Right.
Later on, nanalo sa photo contest sa Sunstar monthly. Meron silang monthly photo contest last time. So, after dyan, parang ang masishare ko na moral lesson dyan for beginners, for all photographers, na wag nyong don't let anyone let you down. Kung may magsasabing ganito, ganyan. No. The first person na isa-satisfy mo sa picture mo is ikaw. Ikaw mismo. Kung gusto mo yan, yung picture na yan, gusto mo yan. Wag kang magpa-apekto na pangit yan kasi sinasabi nila.
Right.
No. Kasi iba-iba naman yung iba-iba naman yung likings ng every photographer. Unless kung nag-shoot kang events or couple, sila yung isa-satisfy mo. Kahit pangit niyan sa'yo, pero maganda sa kanila. So, sila yung masusunod. So,
and ito yung less yata yung yung nanalo ka. We have that photo. Yan.
Oh, yeah. Andyan nga si Sir Ted Madamba from Nikon.
Tapos, Ted tuloy. Tapos, Lester, Ted tuloy ako. Tapos, Lester, di ba, ito yung, you also sent yung mga photo books mo. So, baka you can talk us through, pwede mo explain ko ano yung ginagawa mo sa mga photo books mo. Ito, go ahead.
Actually, sinali ko yung mga photo books kasi lahat ng photo books na ginawa ko is from my film photography. Never akong nagka-photo book sa mga digital shots ko. Kaya para sa akin parang sobrang memorable tong pag-ship ko sa film kasi parang ginawa ko lahat ng hindi ko nagawa dati. And then yan yung isang books na yan, yung dalawa yan.
Italy yata to, no?
Yan yung buong trip ko nung business trip ko sa Italy.
Tapos ano to, Les? Yung Polaroid ba to?
Those are all shots with film. Yung Instax yan, yung isang album. Puro Instax yan. Actually, parang nerd nga ako nung nag-travel na yun. Kasi may Instax. Dinala ko Instax. Tapos, 2 film camera.
Ganun din ako. Huwag ka mag-alala ko. Go ahead.
And then, sa trip na to, Sir Franz, before sa trip na to, parang 2 weeks akong nagde-decide kung ano yung dadalhin ko, digital or film. But one thing I remember nung 2015 ako, nakapunta na ako diyan, nag-digital ako, parang wala akong maalalang memories. Kasi parang shoot lang ako tapos shoot and chimp. Parang pero yung experience ko diyan sa all film na travel ko is very amazing. Kasi of course you have to plan what films you will use on this day. I'm only traveling on weekends kasi Monday to Friday nasa work. So Friday night go out na ako. Tapos yun nga, you have to plan yung film na gagamitin mo sa day, sa night, sa kung may mga event. Tapos along the way I have met a lot of old people laughing at me and then having a chit chat like, look at me, I'm using a Nikon D800 but you are using a film camera which is older than you. Then doon na sa start yung conversation. So parang for me the experience is parang ang sarap na i-enjoy mo yung culture ng location, yung mga tao doon na nakakausap mo. Tapos hindi ka na shoot tapos chimp kasi wala ka namang makikita eh. Na-enjoy mo talaga yung travel mo.
Tama. Tapos ito pa, you also have another yung Project X mo. Tapos ito, Les, siguro baka pwede mo i-mention na lang din. Kasi tinatanong ni Lisa saan daw siya makakabili ng photobook or zine mo.
Okay. Yung Cibello ko na, yung Italy ko, personal ko lang yun. Yung Project X ko na zine. Ito ano din memorable din to kasi last year ko to ginawa tapos parang ang haba ng decision kung itutuloy ko ba to kasi parang pandemic tapos sabi ko hindi, bucket list ko to na kailangan ko mag-release ng photobook ng photozine. Nasa ko to, nasa website ko to, lesterfloresmontejo.com. Available siya sa website ko. Parang actually hindi ako na parang sana may bibili ganyan. Parang siyempre nakikita mo. Mahilig kasi ako sa actual prints.
Right.
Na kahit nakikita mo nga may mga prints talaga ako dito. And then parang bucket list mo din ba na try kong mag-release ng zine. Let's see how. Pero nakabenta din ako ng
talaga.
sa first na may bumili, sobrang happy na ako. Parang satisfied na ako.
Iba kasi pag di ba? Especially when you're doing film. Iba pa talaga pag physical, di ba na? Baka may sample ka diyan, baka pwede may pakita yung sample mo. Ayan.
Hindi, kay Daidorama to.
Ay, okay. Daidorama. Idol din yan. Oo.
Ito yun.
Ayan. Ayan, para doon sa mga, you can go to his website, di ba? Supportahan natin yung mga Actually, alam mo, Les, pwede mong i-share yan sa, sa exchange. I-share mo doon para...
Actually, yan yung isang, ko din, kasi parang nahihiya akong parang feeling ko kasi parang nung yung experience na nag-release ako, parang feeling ko parang nagbibenta na ako, parang nahihiya akong i-share. Oo, parang nahihiya akong i-share ba na. Parang kung sino lang makadiscover niyan, kung gusto nila, kung gusto nilang bumili, then masaya ako. Well, actually, wala naman akong kita diyan. Yung kita ko lang diyan, yung satisfaction ko na naka-release ako, may bumili, may gusto ng books ko.
Right.
Basta sobrang happy na ako pag mga ganyan. And then as long as may piniflip akong
iba pag di ba? Iba pag physical di ba? Parang
may old pa akong dito ata. Sayang hindi ko na prepare. Basta before nito, piniprint ko ng 4R, 5R prints tapos nilalagay ko lang sa mga album.
Iba pag ganyan di ba? Na you really get to, parang you get to appreciate it more. So ito
kaya sa ibang
Go ahead.
Sige.
Go ahead.
Kaya sa mga photographers ngayon, parang ma-share ko sa inyo, when you shoot, parang make it a habit na on this day na magwo-walk ako, dapat may team ako na gustong i-shoot. Meron akong series of frames na talagang isang buong team siya, kasi one day kapag mag-accumulate na yung mga pictures mo, makikita mo yun na overview na pwede mo itong gawin na book. Isang book to. Ito isang book. Ngayon, yung problema ko, paano ko yung problema ko na ngayon, sa dami ng pictures na parang ito parang isang book, naguguluhan ako kung paano ko i-combine. Kasi this year, may project akong isang book na naman. Pero nahihirapan pa akong mag-combine.
Good luck. I'm very sure. Maski ako, aabangan ko yan. Kasi, yun nga if you're watching this, supportahan natin sila Lester, tsaka yung mga photographers na may mga zine, di ba? Tingnan natin kasi it also inspires you. Di ba? Pag nakita mo in person, di ba? Pag titingnan mo.
But I'm telling you that when you see when you hold your prints or books, the ano yun? Yung feeling is different. Rather than seeing it in a big screen or in your phone. It's totally different.
Physical di ba? Tangible kasi. Something physical. So, ito naman, Les, siguro as a final note, how do you see yourself 5 years from now? Baka, in terms of film photography, do you think mag-explore ka pa ng mas malalim na film photography in the coming 5 years or 10 years from now?
Sa ngayon lately, gusto kong mag large format. And then few years from now, or kahit basta healthy pa ako, hopefully, kasi tumatanda na tayo, medyo sakit-sakit na yung mga kalikuran natin. Baka hindi na natin kayang maglakad ng 10K.
Si Tito Bong nga
May bucket list pa akong isa na at least meron akong isang solo exhibit.
Wow.
But only film.
Oo, ganda nun. Diba? Something to look forward to.
Then aside from that, since occasionally I'm shooting couples like that. Gusto kong, kasi parang sa Pilipinas ngayon, purely they are shooting digital. Let's say if uuwi ako, if ever gusto kong mag-shoot ng weddings or couples, I want gusto kong hati. Or mas maganda nga 100% film, parang ganun.
Oo. Something different din also. Kasi alam mo yun,
something different.
Tsaka kung ako yung ikakasal, 'di ba? It's something more treasurable. Kasi to 'di ba? It's physical, it's organic, 'di ba? Yun nga yung sinasabi nila. So, yun. Thank you, Les. Please stay. Meron pa tayong may last pa tayo portion. With that, siguro tawagin na natin yung final guest natin for tonight, si Mr. Rambert from Dipolog. Rambert, andiyan ka na ba? Yan. Yeah, welcome back, Rambert. Siguro diretsuhin ko na. You were actually nominated. Ito nga kasi we had the Photo Nation Awards nitong December. Every year meron ho tayo Photo Nation Awards. And fortunately si Rambert, he actually was nominated as Filmmaker of the Year. And now, part na ho siya ng exhibit. And it's also your first time joining an exhibit. Ano yung pakiramdam? How does it feel for you to, paano yung first time mo? Ano yung nararamdaman mo? Go ahead.
Una is that, yes, it's really a privilege and nakakasaya since it opened up to me na the value of really printing your work kasi although I wasn't there personally sa exhibit, but to see it in a frame na it's something tangible na not just something digital kasi na I've tried na once na I've lost a hard drive of files and that. So, seeing it in an exhibit and na tangible siya, na printed siya, nakakasaya talaga po.
Oo. And also, 'di ba, yung in terms of your first time to be part of the exhibit, ano yung do you see yourself joining more exhibits in the future? Or baka like Lester, baka you'd like to do your solo exhibit. Is that baka may plano kang ganun?
If given the chance naman po, yes. Yun po na I'll always do my best talaga when given the chance.
Ayun. Thanks, Ambert. So siguro in terms of ano naman, kasi you do photography professionally. You have your own studio, tapos you have clients. Ano yung pinakagusto mo about what you do? This business of photography that you do. Go ahead.
Unang-una is that na building, kasi when doing it as a business na you can just do it on your own as just one person. Building the team was very exciting. Putting these people together, not just photographers, but sa accounting side and also sa side ng mga secretariat and everything, putting them together in the team, yun yung nakaka-excite when doing it as a business and see the people grow, see the business grow along with yung pag-build namin sa speaker.
Yun. And siguro since excited na rin yung mga viewers natin to see your works, let's begin siguro with your first work, itong in-exhibit mo sa estancia. Go ahead, Rambert. Take it away.
Yes. Yun. Actually, na-realize ko na is a money shot when I sent it na for the exhibit. Since na-realize ko na it was so rare na doon ko na din na-realize na the sun was really about to set and then parang nasipa yung bilog as a soccer ball. That was also, I think, this season din, very optimal viewing for sunsets dito sa Dipolog City was here around March, going April. Napakaganda ng sunsets dito sa Dipolog City. And by this picture actually, napaka malapit nito sa akin because before that, I actually stopped photography for some reasons, for some pinagdadaanan din. That was actually the day na I decided to pick my camera up once again. And sabi ko, I'll start taking photos, and then I ended up with this one.
At yun, na-exhibit natin. Napakaganda. Actually, alam mo, Rambert, sa totoo lang, when we go there, pag may lumalapit na mga tao, umaangat yung, sa wall kasi you also submitted it sa wall, diba? Part din siya ng wall. And umaangat siya dun sa wall when people go over the photos. Diba? Yung very iconic din yung kulay niya. Yun. And again, congratulations for this. Siguro your next photo. Go ahead.
Yes. That time actually, I've never thought about building a studio talaga or even expected na darating yung time that I'll be operating and owning one. Since so ginagawa ko usually if the client usually in-invade namin yung bahay ng client and slowly turning it into a studio. Minsan yung living room, yung like for this for some certain shots like sa ibang pictures din ito was yung kurtina ng living room nilalagyan natin, in-exchange namin into lagyan ng backdrop and then we set up the lights and all of those. Fast forward to now, hindi ko really na-expect darating din yung time na mapuput up na talaga yung studio, but these photos were taken yung wala pa yung studio.
Oo nga. Ano yung I mean, what's the challenge? For example, doon sa ginagawa mo na ganyang process na you go to the client, ganyan. Ano yung pinakamahirap na ginagawa for that? Is it the setup or thinking about the shots themselves? Kasi, tama ba? You go there, kung ano yung makita nyo, yun yung or you plan ahead?
Yung, since most of the situations na na ganun, I didn't get the time to scout the place prior. There's this uncertainty na kaya ng space, or if the space is enough, and kung anong challenges when taking that shot. Actually, ilang beses natumba yung backdrop because yung mga light stands ko were not strong enough. So there yung mga ganong challenges na limited sa space na uncertain.
Pero yun yung challenge, 'di ba? Yung tipong if you overcome it, 'di ba? Nakita niyo naman, napakaganda nung shot ni Rambert. Nakaka-boost din, 'di ba, ng ano. Okay, your next one.
Yes, this one is one of my favorite portraits ngayon na we shot this. This was my first time actually working with a professional, first and only time na I've worked with a professional model, and then it was with Adele Serhal na yung workflow. I tried to ask as much questions sa model, especially how they do it in the professional level, since I haven't yet experienced yung sa full setup talaga with all the styling and full production. So I tried to learn as much from this person, Adele Serhal, and then how to deal with the shoot and that. So ito na shoot was actually dami kong natutunan from the model himself.
Minsan mas marami kang matututunan din dun sa model, no? Kasi well-experienced sila eh. I mean, they've been through a lot, and in terms of that, yung professionalism side, minsan ito yung mga hindi mo matututunan through schools kasi experience-based. Yan. So, yun. The next one, Rambert.
Yes, this one was just recent, and then finally nabuo na yung sa studio, and then this was the first time actually na I've used a ladder to shoot kasi ang tangkad ng model, and then yung space ko actually sa studio is also still very limited. It's very narrow, and then yung backdrop ko was not that high. I had to use a ladder for the first time to shoot at the high level sa model na shoot. But still, yes, we pulled it off na sobrang tangkad na scene. So, we still pull it off despite the small space. Decent naman na space, but it's still medyo nakakamit into position all the lights and all.
Right. Pero it doesn't look limited. Napakaganda nung nung pagka-shot. Next.
Yes. This one was prior. Yun, transform lang namin yung living room, or I think that was space na hindi na ginagamit nila. We transformed it, we put the backdrop, and we went for this shot lang. Actually, it's just a fun shoot. And then, we pulled it off na hindi ko din ini-expect na one day or a year after na makakabuo rin pala talaga nabuo ko yung Studio Z.
Ito, and speaking of Studio Z, ayan na. Sige, go.
Yes.
Si Ray.
Si Ray. Finally, we opened the studio last January 28. The mayor, our city mayor, was there, and this was Sir Armand Frasco of Ambibo. Ito yung sa opening namin. Hindi ko talaga siya in-expect kasi unang inisip ko before putting it up, why would it's very risky to put up a business, especially a studio, in the middle of a pandemic. Pero I've seen naman na noong January, medyo okay na. I've decided na I think it's the right time. Kasi I've seen sa last year, events, relying mostly on events and mga events and weddings. It was really affected during the pandemic. So I thought about options na how could I transition to something na in the long run. So I decided na ito kasi sa Dipolog, there were no new studios as of the late. Maybe it's been more or less 10 years or more or less a decade na medyo nawawala na yung studio shoots. So I've decided not to be different. Instead of relying I still do outdoor shoots, pero pinapausok ko ulit yung studio here sa Dipolog. Studio shoot.
Ayun. And siguro...
Looking at the photo yan, medyo maliit. Sa picture, yung group picture, meron akong wall. Parang malaki siya tingnan, pero actually, it's decent space naman.
Oo. And ano yan, diba? I mean, it will eventually grow. I'm very sure of that, Rambert. So, in terms of ano naman, siguro as a final note, maybe you have a message for those who are aspiring photographers who want to try out the business of photography. Go ahead.
Ayun. All I can say simply is kung gusto talaga kaya. When I started yung early days ng studios, very thrilling kasi it was the first time na I had bills. It was the first time na I had to pay for the rent, the electricity, and all. Medyo ang daming worries. Pero when in the long run na medyo himay na, medyo nag-survive na yung business, it's very satisfying because you will start to learn na you can't do it by your own. You start to build a team, you start to deal with different people, and then it's nakaka-fulfill din talaga na seeing also your team and the business grow. Kaya.
Ayun. And on that note, again, thank you, Rambert. Siguro let's bring back our guests. Wait lang. Let me pull you into screen. Wait. Ayusin ko lang, ha. And we actually have a comment from Tito Bong. Ayan. Tito Bong. Ayan. Welcome back, Tito Bong. Good evening, Tito Bong. Baka you have a message to our guests. Wait lang, hanapin natin si Sister Jenny. Sister Jenny? Andiyan pa ba kayo? Natulog na yata Sister Jenny. Ayun. Wait lang. Add spotlight. Ayan. Again, Tito Bong, take it away.
Hello, good evening everyone. You know what, this is one of the para sa akin memorable na podcast na yung very diverse kasi yung mga guests natin ngayon. Sabi ko nga, I even write sa mga kung kaano ka-diverse. So, unahin ko si Sister Jenny. Yung kay Sister Jenny na mga photos, para sa akin, those are prayers eh. Parang you translate your prayers into photos ba? By doing these things, you were given a good eyes to do that. Kaya parang it's a blessing. And then how do you reciprocate those blessings by doing those great photos? Kaya para sa akin, yung mga photos mo are prayers. Yun. That's a very good thing. And then about Jess Abella naman, it represents creativity. Parang feel ko yung niya, yung kanyang lalo na naging I feel his emotions to the point na naging very emotional siya when he was trying to describe some of his photos and everything. Para siyang a fighter dun sa yung may tremendous deal of an artistry sa kanya talaga eh. And then sabi nga niya I should correct Franz na sinabi niyang Ansel Adams. No. Jess Abella is the Van Gogh of photography. Kung mo siya doon, iba yung kanyang it's a different way of yung kanyang photography. It's beyond photography actually.
I agree.
And then we can talk about Lester Montejo. Siya naman yung represents discipline because of his film photography. Tapos sabi ko nga, yung printing of books, yon sa kanya. appreciated ko yun. Kasi alam mo, unless na yung photos mo is printed is printed, ano siya, it really gives values. Si Lester nga lang, mahilig siya gumawa ng book. Ako mahilig ako mag-frame. As you can see sa likod ko, piniprame ko lahat yung photos ko. And I also have a lot of frame photos here. Sabi nga ng wife ko pa-frame ka ng pa-frame. Saan ko ilalagay yan? Puno na yung bahay ng photos mo. Nakatambak na lang dyan. Hindi, talagang from time to time, tinitignan ko yung mga frame photos ko. Even when I was in Singapore, I had the same wall na punong-puno ng mga frames. And then going to Rambert naman, this is yung transforming your passion into business. Ito yung isa sa pinakamasayang klase ng ng trabaho. Yung you like what you're doing, it is your passion that you and most of this passion na yung mga business na nag-start with passion, these are the guys na talagang sila yung nagpo-flourish, sila yung nagiging successful. The reason is yung iba kasi may business sila for the sake of earning money, for the sake of parang kailangan nilang pilitin nila yung sarili na and everything. Parang gigising sila sa umaga pero hindi naman sila masaya kasi dahil problema and everything. Yung business na nag-umpisa sa passion, masaya ka, maski may problema yung mo, tuloy ka pa rin, lumalaban talaga ng gusto. And to think about it, these 4 photographers, I call them as heroes. Sa ngayon, we are in a war. We are in a war with the COVID, or germs, or a virus, ika nga. These 4 are talagang fighters. These are the heroes of today's. The exhibit is one battle that we have won. Tandaan ninyo yan. The art exhibit is a battle that we have won against pandemic. We survived. We overcome the challenges. Ika nga. Yun ang kaya I really thank you so much for gracing our podcast today. Maraming salamat. Kudos. And then another thing, one last thing pala bago ko malimutan. Mas na-appreciate ko yung photos nyo ngayon because of the stories behind. I always tell when I come to estancia, pag pupunta ako ng estancia, pag may mga nagpupunta doon, padalas ko sinasabi sa kanila, alam mo, there are 2 sides of the story. There are 2 sides of the story doon sa isang photograph, isang photo. One is yung story ng photo itself. Tapos, and then, yung the story behind kung paano na-conceive yung photo na yun. How was it taken? Anong ginawa? This is very relevant to Jess, yung kung paano niya ginawa. Imaginein mo yung effort mo. Tatakbo ka sa batuhan para habulin mo yung time limit ng cameraman and everything. It's I really appreciate. Ngayon ko lang naintindihan. If you're going to see the photos doon, para ang simple lang. Pero the way it was made, feel na feel mo galing sa puso mo.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Tito Bong. Salamat sa very inspiring din na messages from Tito Bong. Ayan. And ito nga, siguro let's hear it for our heroes nga, sabi ni Tito Bong. Siguro let's begin with Jess, sige, Jess muna. Baka you can tell them for those who would like to see your work, your videos, baka you can promote your YouTube sa kanila pwedeng hanapin. Wait lang. Go ahead, Jess.
Okay, yung sa I have my YouTube channel, Jess Abella lang po. And then sa Instagram, Jess Abella Fine Art. And then I also have my page on Facebook, Jess Abella Fine Art.
Ayun. Thanks, Jess. Again, Jess Abella from Pangasinan. Sister Jenny. Wait lang. Go ahead, Sister Jenny. Where can they follow you? Tapos, go ahead.
They can follow me on Facebook and on my Instagram, Sor, they can find me as Sor Jenny. Yun lang po.
Thank you, Sister Jenny. Siguro, lipat naman tayo kay Lester. Hold on. Les, go ahead. Mention mo na rin yung website mo. I think ang dami nagtatanong about your, Go ahead.
Okay. You can follow me on my Maniniyot sa Sugbo. That's my Instagram. But that is, actually I have 2 Instagram. I separated digital and film. So my film is Maniniyot sa Sugbo. My digital is Kodaker_Maniniyot. And I'm also running my own site. You can also read some blogs there. Pasensya nyo na kasi dyan ako nagpa-practice ng English ko. So, you can read from there. And I also have on my website, lesterfloresmontejo.com. There's also a shop if hindi naman ako namimilit. Basta kung gusto nyong bumili ng book ko, nandun yan sa shop ko, sa online, sa website ko. So, lesterfloresmontejo.com.
Ayun. Thank you, Les. Siguro, now,
thank you.
Yan. Finally, si Rambert. Rambert, where can they follow Studio Z? Tapos, your social media accounts. Go ahead.
Yes, check out Studio Z in our official Facebook page. Also, as for Instagram, hindi na ako active. My last post was 4 years ago, but pretty soon I will be back sa Instagram at GNOUZI.
Ayun. Thank you, Rambert. So again, to our viewers, meron na lang ho tayong nalilip na iilang araw na lang ho yung natitira. We will end the exhibit on March 31. So again, please take the opportunity to go there kasi magiging history na natin yan. And again, for the photographers who are there, sa wall natin, you can get copies of the wall. Pag-uusapan na. We'll post announcements about it on how you can get the photos. But yun nga, we're in the process of, who knows, malay nyo, bigla ma-extend yung exhibit natin. We'll find out. And again, please take the time to visit our guests, yung mga Facebook pages ho nila. Please support our members in Photonation. If you haven't yet, follow natin yung isa't isa para naman matulungan din natin na umangat tayo sabay-sabay. Okay? And again, don't forget to tune in next week para naman magkaroon tayo ng another episode on Film Factor Pod. I-announce na lang natin yung kung sino yung mga guests natin. Pero we are actually inviting the other exhibitors in different parts of the world. So kung ngayon, we talked about or we invited Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, which is yung national natin. Bukas or next week naman, international na tayo. Okay? So again, also on March 26, we will be having the second workshop where it will be covering analog photography and the history of photography. So if you'd like to know more kung paano nagsimula tong photography, sino yung rason kung bakit nagkaroon ng photography at paano siya lumago, we'll discuss that next week. At the same time, papasok na rin natin yung analog process. We'll teach you how to develop in color, black and white, and then yung older processes like yung cyanotype and everything. We'll discuss that next week. So yun. Again, don't forget to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, and this will also be on Spotify. Just search for Film Factor Podcast. This has been Born and Film on Air. My name is Franz. Thank you for joining us. Snap Talk will be coming up next at 10 p.m. Ano sa ba? Naku, sumobra na tayo. Susunod ako yung Snap Talk. Please tune in. Goodbye! Bye, Sister Jenny! Sister Jenny!
Bye!
Bye! Thank you! Salamat! Salamat po!
Thank you! Maayong gabi sa tanan.
Good night!
Maayong gabi, Isab.